Hey guys, welcome to the WAG Station. I'm Yoshi, the Jinsei himself. Well, have you ever tried to decide between bread and bagels? They are both pretty jamming foods, but I'm only hungry enough for one. One you can only legally have peanut butter on, and the other one you can only legally have cream cheese on. Which also reminds me, welcome to round 4 of Wags' Game War. Now what is Wags' Game War, you might ask? Well, it's an ongoing series where I put 2 different games against each other across 5 different categories. Now what are these categories? Well, it's gameplay, accessibility, art style, music, and memorability. But as well, I also throw in 2 extra bonus categories depending on the matchup. But with that, today's matchup is Super Mario Bros. 3 versus Super Mario World. Now let's get this war started. Well, first, starting off with gameplay. I don't know, both of these games are f***ing Mario. They both play exactly how you want them to. You can run, you can jump, you go from left to right to go to the goal, you have to save the princess. Just the only thing that's really different is the goal. Like, Super Mario Bros. 3 has this panel thing, and Super Mario World has this more traditional type goal, but it's still not the flagpole. I don't really know what you can call this, so tell me maybe. But the Super Mario World did introduce the spin jump and have the ability to throw shells upwards. So I guess for gameplay, other than like power-ups and all that, spoilers for one of the later categories, I'm saying that Super Mario World wins this category for just adding that one extra little move. Next is accessibility. But if there's anyone new here to this Wags' Game War series, I'm doing accessibility gameplay-wise. Like, sure, I should have put that in the gameplay category, but it's just how accessible the game is to new players. And after playing both of these games pretty recently, I can definitively say that Super Mario Bros. 3 is definitely a little bit tougher than I remember. Sure, you can call that a skill issue, and it is. But I think the only reason why Super Mario Bros. 3 is slightly harder than Super Mario World is the fact that it still had that early video game bullshit. Sure, Super Mario World has a little bit of its own, but overall, Super Mario Bros. 3 definitely has that a lot more. So Super Mario World wins this category. Next we got art style, and thanks to Super Mario All-Stars, Super Mario Bros. 3 can easily be compared to Super Mario World. Barely, because it's both 16-bit that way. So Super Mario Bros. 3 goes for like this play kind of art style, which honestly is pretty cool. You can tell that it's supposed to be like a play because of these platforms that are all around that clearly look like that they're made to be in a set. And sure, I guess this isn't really art style, but at the end of each level, Mario goes into this behind the stage kind of thing, and it's just all pure black, except for maybe a couple outlines of bushes for some reason. And honestly, I find that pretty cool. In Super Mario World, on the other hand, I just feel like that it mixes its art style a lot with other Mario games. Like, it just feels like the most Mario-y art style of all time. That's not a bad thing, though. But overall, I think Super Mario Bros. 3 wins this category. Next we got music. Sure, I may not be a music theory guy, but if I was, I would kind of fill up the video absurdly too much. But I'm basing the music off of how often I would listen to it in my playlist, for example. Super Mario Bros. 3 has a lot of bangers, but man, Super Mario World just hits different, man. Sure, every song basically references the same little melody, but honestly, I like that about Super Mario World. It really feels that you're going through an entire, well, world, and it has its own little style to it all. Plus, as well, you can't beat the extra beats that you get through riding Yoshi. Damn, it just goes so hard. So yeah, if you can tell already, Super Mario World wins this category. Next we got memorability, probably the most useless category out of the rest. It's literally just how often I remember this game after not playing it in a little while. So I can remember a lot about Super Mario Bros. 3. It just has so many iconic moments. Like, I always remember the raccoon power-up. I can remember all the cool looking play design of the entire game. The airship levels are really cool. This is the first game to introduce the Koopalings. Where would we be today without them? And that's just the tip of the iceberg on what I can remember. Now, Super Mario World, I don't know, f***ing Yoshi? Yeah, Super Mario Bros. 3 wins this category. So, our first exclusive category to this matchup is power-ups. Now, of course, both of these Mario games include your basic mushroom, fire, flower, and star, but with Super Mario Bros. 3, we get many iconic power-ups like the frog suit, the super leaf, the tanuki suit, which is basically just a better super leaf, and then you got the P-Wing, which is just a better super leaf. And then you got the amazing hammer suit. God, I love that power-up for no reason. This game even has a frickin' boot. A boot! And Super Mario World also has some power-ups to call its own. It's got the Cape Feather, which is basically this game's rendition of the Tanuki Leaf. And honestly, I like it a lot better than the Tanuki Leaf, not gonna lie. It's a lot more fun to pull it off. And the rest of the power-ups actually have something to do with Yoshi. Yoshi's is already a power-up on its own, but there's also baby Yoshis, which turn into Yoshis. And as well, there's different types of Yoshis that do different things, but the green Yoshi can do everything all at once. By eating different shells with Yoshi, Yoshi can perform different moves. If Yoshi eats a green shell, he can just spit it back out. If Yoshi eats a red shell, he can spit fire. If Yoshi eats a yellow shell, he can do this ground pound type move, and it shakes the entire screen and defeats any enemy on the ground. And then with the blue shell, Yoshi's able to fly. And with the red, yellow, and blue Yoshi, no matter what shell you eat, these Yoshis will pull off the same moves every time. Fire, ground pound, and flight, respectively. Now, I like the Yoshi power-ups and all, but they just kind of feel like filler and don't really give much to the game. Like, none of the levels were really designed with this stuff in mind. It just felt like a last-minute decision. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give this category to Super Mario Bros. 3. And to end it all off, I have a very, very lame second exclusive category to this matchup. Level design. Overall, both of these games have some pretty amazing level design. They are both perfectly handcrafted by the developers at Nintendo. But the only thing that really bugs me is the fact that Super Mario Bros. 3 levels are so goddamn short. And it's just too bad too, because honestly, even though that I think both of these games have some incredible level design, I honestly think that Super Mario Bros. 3 would be way better than Super Mario World's if it wasn't for the fact that they were so short. But hey, this is my favorite Mario game to speedrun this way, but that's still not gonna save it. I'm gonna give this category to Super Mario World because it still has some pretty incredible level design, but as well, it's actually at a normal level length. Well, with that, it seems like Super Mario World wins. And honestly, I'm not really that surprised. I love Super Mario World to death, and no Super Mario Bros. 3 fan can tell me otherwise. But I still think that Super Mario Bros. 3 is definitely a good game. But I have a few issues with it, thus Super Mario World wins. And honestly, this whole match was kind of a waste. I sort of said in the past that I liked Super Mario World better. It is time to decide which one is better. This one's too short. Man, was I such an ass about it back then. And I still can be. Yeah, f*** Super Mario Bros. 3.